Business Studies. A-Level Program Chapter 2. Business Structure. Have you ever wondered why some businesses are owned by one person, while others have thousands of owners?
Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into business structure.
The economic sector, business activity and ownership can be classified in a number of ways. One of these is by identifying which type of product or service is being produced. First is the primary sector. This involves extracting natural resources. Examples: farming, fishing, mining.
The secondary sector is all about manufacturing and processing. It involves turning raw materials into finished goods. And lastly, the tertiary sector that provides services. Examples: banking, education, and retail.
As economies develop, they usually move from primary to secondary to tertiary. That's a classic exam point. Quick exam tip. Developed countries equals more tertiary industry. Developing countries equals more primary industry. Imagine this. You start a small cafe, you control everything. But what if you want to expand? Open 10 branches. Or go global.
Your business structure will decide what's possible, and what's not. What is business structure? Business structure refers to how a business is owned and organized. It affects control, profits, risk, ability to raise finance. Let's start with the simplest form of business structures, the sole trader. This is a business owned and run by one person. Key feature: unlimited liability. This means if the business fails, the owner may lose personal assets like their house or car. This structure is great for independence, but risky if things go wrong.
Next, we have partnerships, a business owned by two or more people. They usually sign a deed of partnership to agree on roles and profit sharing. To summarize, partnership has more brains, more money, but also more chances of conflict.
Now let's move to companies, a major step up. The ownership of a company is divided into small units called shares. People who buy these shares are known as shareholders, which means they become part owners of the business.
Here's something interesting. You can buy just one share, but usually, shares are bought in larger quantities. And if someone owns more than 50% of the shares, they gain majority control, meaning they can make key decisions for the company. In fact, individuals who own large numbers of shares often become directors and help run the business. Companies have three major advantages: limited liability. Owners only lose what they invested. Legal personality. The business is separate from its owners. Continuity. The business continues even if owners change.
One of the biggest advantages for shareholders is something called limited liability. This means that if the company fails, shareholders can only lose the money they invested, nothing more. This has two major effects. First, people feel more confident investing in companies, which helps businesses grow and expand. Second, the risk shifts to creditors, like banks and suppliers, because they may not get their money back if the company collapses. That's why creditors carefully check a company's financial accounts before giving loans or supplies. There are two major types of limited companies: public and private limited companies.
Private limited companies are usually small to medium businesses. Their shares can be sold to friends, family. Owners often keep control. However, the shares of such companies cannot be sold to the public. Public limited companies are the giants. Think big corporations. They can sell shares to the public, raise huge capital, and their shares can be traded on stock exchange. However, the shareholders may experience loss of control and conflict between owners and managers may arise.
Always remember, sole trader equals full control but full risk. Companies equals less risk but less control. Which would you choose? Here is a quick look at the differences. This comparison is very important for your exam preparation. Don't forget it.
Next up, cooperatives. This is a unique type of business you must understand. A cooperative is a business owned and run by a group of people for their mutual benefit. Its key features are: members are both owners and customers. Each member usually has one vote. Profits are shared among members. Unlike companies, power is not based on shares, but it's based on equality. Take note of the main benefits and drawbacks of cooperatives.
Now let's talk about one of the most exam-favorite topics, franchising. A franchise is when a business, called the franchisor, allows another person, the franchisee, to use its brand and business model. How it works: franchisee pays a fee, follows strict rules, uses brand name, logo, systems. Think of global food chains, same logo, same menu, same experience everywhere.
Businesses don't stay the same forever. They often change structure as they grow. These are the main reasons to change: raise more finance, reduce risk, and gain legal identity. The downsides are more legal formalities, loss of control, profits are shared, so growth often comes with sacrifices.